So, good evening, class. In the series of Fundamental of Maths, so far we had discussed about the various topics. We had discussed about the coordinate geometry. In the coordinate geometry section, we had discussed about the equation of the circle, the equation of the parabola, the equation of the straight lines, and the Cartesian coordinates. So, in that Cartesian coordinates, we had discussed about the distance between the 2 points. We had deduced some of the basic formulas which were very useful in order to calculate the distance between the 2 points, in order to have the equation between the two straight lines. The equation was basically it was related to the y is equal to mx plus c, y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, and these were various type of examples, these were various type of equations which we had discussed earlier. So, and apart from this topic, we had discussed in the physics also regarding the use of the mathematics, because as we had already studied in the physics that mathematics is the language of physics. If we have to solve a complex formula, if we have to reduce the particular relations, we can take the help of maths in order to deduce a particular relationship. Suppose force is equal to m into a, that is m is the short form of mass and a is the short form of the acceleration. According to the second law of motion, according to the Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to the F is directly proportional to m into v minus u by t. That is, F is directly proportional to m into a. Force is directly proportional force is equal to m into a. So force is the product of mass into acceleration. In all this, we have taken the help of one of the important concept, which is a little bit out of our syllabus. We had discussed earlier also, but we will discussing some of the root cause, some of the, you can say, we will be discussing the trigonometric functions. We will be discussing the trigonometric identities at the grassroots level. We had discussed and we had seen also in our lower classes that whenever we want to calculate any distance, so we are taking the help of the coordinate geometry. We had already used you can say the distance between the 2 points using the distance formula, that is x under root x minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. In some of the concepts, we are using the concept of the trigonometry. Trigonometry, as we had already learnt in our basic classes, and we will be stretching those topics only, but we will be studying at the grassroots level. So we had already studied the trigonometric identities, the trigonometric values, starting whenever the angle between the points will be, it will be equal to 0 or it will be less than equal to 90 degree. But today the topic which we are going to discuss or which we are going to learn, it is an important concept. With the help of this topic, we will be able to calculate the values of any trigonometric identities which is greater than 0 and which we can take, suppose, greater than 360 degree also, and it will be very useful in you can say solving the complex numerical problems, as we had already known, and it is already presumed, it is universal in nature, that it is already presumed that trigonometry plays a vital role in no matter which subject it is. But if we are considering the science topic, then trigonometry plays a vital role. It is no matter it is in mathematics or physics or chemistry. Whenever we want to calculate the height and distance, a very useful topic in the mathematics is the height and distance. Suppose the angle of elevation is given, the angle of depression is given, and we have to calculate the distance between the 2 points. This type of topic, this type of trigonometry, this type of trigonometrical questions, we are generally finding in the case of marine engineering. Whenever a ship is traveling in the sea and a flag post is there, we have to calculate the distance between the ship and the flag post, or the angle of elevation, or the angle of depression. So we are finding its applicability in different you can say aspects of our life. And the topic which we are going to discuss today, it will also plays a vital role, and it will help us in finding the you can say complex trigonometric identities. We had already studied in our basic classes regarding finding the, we had already studied the basic trigonometric classes regarding the finding, basically suppose the angle is given between the 0 degree and 90 degree, and we had also calculated the various trigonometric ratios which is lying between 0 and 90 degree. Basically it is this was applicable for sine, cos and tan, and the reciprocal of it is, that is, suppose it is cosec, sec and cot. We are just reciprocating, we are just reversing the fraction part, or we can say we are just reciprocating the fraction part, and we are getting the requisite values. But the concept which we are going to study today, it is entitled as, it is defined as the sine rule, and it plays an important concept. It plays, you can say it is a core concept, and we are going to study it in the grassroots level. So first and foremost, we had already studied about this part, this particular schematic diagram we had already studied, and we had taken the help of this schematic diagram in the coordinate geometry. So today we will be studying the basic trigonometric ratios and the values with the help of this Cartesian coordinates, with the help of this axis. So first and foremost, any 2D axis, any 2D point or any 2D axis, it is basically divided into 4 sections. The first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Okay, so we had already seen this concept also, and this basically, this topic, it is defined as the sine rule. Okay, it is known as the sine rule, and with the help of this particular sine rule, we will be able to calculate the values of angle lying between 0 degree and 360 degree and above than 360 degree also. And we will be taking the help of the basic trigonometric table, which will be helpful for us to calculate, or which will be helpful for us to elaborate this section also. So there are certain basic points which we will consider before solving the complex numerical problem. There are certain rules and regulations are there are certain protocols are there which we will keep in our mind before proceeding to the next section. So in this case we had seen that we will be using the concept of various sections here. So we had seen this Cartesian coordinate earlier also, and we will write some of the rules and regulations which will be helpful for us in order to understand the concept clearly. So whenever, suppose if we are considering the transformation, if we are considering the transformation between 90, if we are considering the transformation in the angle ranging from 90 degree and 270 degree, if we are considering the angle 90 degree and 270 degree, okay, so in this case we have to change the trigonometric ratio as well as trigonometric identities as well as sine also. Okay, so suppose it is there sine 90, suppose we have to calculate sine 90, it will be transforming, we will transform into cos 90. So in this case, this, if we are getting, suppose if your angle is there sine 270 degrees there, understood? So we will be writing this in this part, sine 180 degree plus 90 degree, understood? So in this case we are taking the help of 180 degree. If we are using the angle 180 degree and 360 degree, in that case trigonometric ratio will not change. The sine, cos, sine will not change into cos, cos will not change into sine, vice versa. So sine will not change into cos and cos will not change into sine. So if we are taking the help of 180 degree, in this case it will be sine 90 degree. And regarding the sine, this particular angle, if we are taking 180 degree plus 90 degree, in the Cartesian coordinate, if we are taking 180 degree, it is coming in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, only tan and cot will be positive and rest ratios will be negative. So in this case, it will be minus sine 90, and minus sine 90 we had already studied in our lower classes. Its value is minus 1. minus sin 90 is minus 1. So finally we had got the result sin 270 degree, the value of sin 270 degree is minus 1. So first and foremost, the first rule is, if we are taking the help of 90 degree and 270 degree, in that case the sine will change into cos, the cos will change into sine, and rest all the trigonometric ratios like tan will change into cot, cot will change into tan, sec will change into cosec, and cosec will change into sec. So this is the first and foremost, this is the first rule. Secondly, if we are taking the help of 180 degree or 0 degree or 180 degree and 0 degree, so in that case there will be no change in the trigonometric ratios. Sine will remain sine, cos will remain cos only. Similarly, the symmetric pattern will be there. And sine will remain sine, the cos will remain cos only. In that case, there will be no change in the trigonometric ratio, but the sign will change, and that is basically that sign is particularly, it is having dependence on the quadrants. So only sign will change. If we are taking the help of 180 degree and 0 degree, in that case 180 degree or 360 degree, in that case the sign will only change, but trigonometric ratio will remain as it is. Now we will be seeing some of the examples which will render some of the transparency here. So we had taken the we had seen the two rule. If we are taking the help of 90 and 270, in that case the sign as well as trigonometric ratio will change. If we are taking the help of 180 degree and 360 degree or 0 degree, in that case there will be no change in the trigonometric ratios, but the sign will change, which is having dependency on the quadrant. Help in this case means, suppose consider this example 270 degree. We have taken the help of 180 degree in order to expand that particular angle. 270 degree can be written with the help of 180 degree plus 90 degree. The first angle which we had taken the help, that is 180 degree. So in that case, I had already elaborated the rule that if we are taking the help of 180 degree, in that case there will be no change in the trigonometric ratio. That is, sine will remain sine only, and the sine will remain sine only, and the particular sine of this particular angle that is having dependence on the quadrant. I had already told you it is 180 degree plus 90 degree. 180 degree plus 90 degree, it is lying on the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, only tan and cot will be positive. But here it is sine. So sine will be negative. Minus sine 90, that is minus 1. So this is the particular rule. Thirdly, we will be saying some of the example which will make the concept more clear. So this is the particular quadrant diagram. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Understood? Up to this, it is 90 degree. From this particular segment to this particular segment, it is 180 degree. Here it is 270 degree, and here up to it is 360 degree. So each and every segment, each and every you can say quadrant is 90 degree, and first quadrant is having limitation up to 90. Similarly, the second quadrant will be having limitation up to 180 degree. Third quadrant will be having limitation up to 270 degree, and the fourth quadrant will be having the limitation up to 360 degree. So I will write here the first quadrant is having all the trigonometric ratios positive, no matter whether it is sine, cos, tan, cot, cosec, sec. All trigonometric ratios will be positive. In the second quadrant, the sine and cosec will be positive. And the third quadrant, tan and cot will be positive. And the fourth quadrant, cos and sec will be positive. As I had already depicted on the board, that in the first quadrant, all the trigonometric ratios will be positive, no matter whether it is sine, cos, tan, cot, cosec, sec. In the second quadrant, the sine and cosec will be positive. In the third quadrant, the tan and cot will be positive, and the fourth quadrant, cos and sec will be positive. So this is the distribution of different trigonometric ratios with respect to the quadrants. So this is the fourth rule that I had depicted in the board. So if suppose if we are checking up to 360 degree, it is easy concept. Up to 360 degree, whenever we want to calculate the value of any angle, whenever we want to calculate the value of any angle, it is a simple concept. But apart, when we are you can say crossing 360 degree, when we are going beyond 360 degree, suppose that is 420 degree, suppose 500 degree is there, suppose 1200 degree is there, in that case we have to apply certain basic rules, and I will be discussing that rule also, and with the help of that rule we will be easily calculating the trigonometric values in the you can say in the long run or in the future. So in this case, suppose we want to take the example of sine 210 degree. Sine 210 degree. So sine 210 degree, we have to check whether this particular angle 210 degree, it is nearer to 180 degree or 270 degree. Okay. Thereafter we have to frame a strategy. So sine 210 degree, if we are checking here sine 210 degree, so it is 180 degree plus 30 degree. So we can write sine 210 degree as sine 180 degree plus 30 degree. Okay, I had already told you that whenever we are taking the help of 180 degree, in that case sine will remain sine, sin, sine, that particular trigonometric ratio will remain as it is, that it will be sine 30 degree. Now we will be applying the second concept. If any angle crosses 180 degree, so in that case this particular angle up to this, it is 180 degree. Beyond this third quadrant, it is from 181 degree to 270 degree. So it is coming in the third quadrant. So in the third quadrant only tan and cot will be positive. Here it is sine, so we have to give here negative. So minus sine 30 degree. So as we had already studied in our lower classes, up to 90 degree we are using some table, that is trigonometric table. Based on that table only we are taking the help of that particular table. So minus sine 30 degree, it is sine 60, it is root 3 by 2, and sine 30 it is minus 1 by 2. So it will be minus 1 by 2. Sine 30 it is 1 by 2. So we have already placed one negative sign here, it will be minus half. Understood? So this is the particular you can say framing part. When we are taking the help of suppose tan 330 degree, in this case we will be taking the second one, tan 330 degree. Now we will check how to do it. Is we will be nominating one of the figure here, suppose 2 it is there, tan 330 degree. We will check whether this particular angle, that particular angle is 330 degree, it is in the vicinity or it is in the proximity of 180 degree or 360 degree. It means that is we will check whether this particular 330 degree, it is nearer to 180 degree or 360 degree. Thereafter we will be taking a stand. So we will check here, it is tan 330 degree, it is nearer to 360 degree. So tan 360 degree minus, it will be 30. So it is tan 360 degree minus 30. So we will now check that up to this, so 90, 180, 270, 360, total angle, the sum of the angles about a point, it is 360 degree, as we had already studied in the geometry section in the earlier classes. So we will be applying that concept only. So it will be it is up to 360 degree, tan 360 degree minus 30 degree. So it will be lying in the fourth quadrant. As we will be applying the first rule. In the first rule, we had already I had already told you that whenever we are taking the help of 180 or 360 degree, the trigonometric ratios will not change. So tan will remain as it is, tan. And in the fourth quadrant, only cos and sec is positive. Only cos and sec is positive in the fourth quadrant. So here tan it is minus 10. So minus tan 30. As we had already used the trigonometric table in the lower section of our classes, in the earlier classes also, the tan 30 it is, the value is 1 by root 3. Tan 30 is minus 1 by root 3. Okay. So it will be like this only. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. I will write one the basic table here. It will be easy for us to take the help from that section. Suppose it is 0, 30, 45 and you can say, yeah, it will be, suppose it is 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90 degree. It is sine, cos, tan. Sin 0, 0, cos 0, 1, tan 0, 0. Sin 30, 1 by 2, cos 30, root 3 by 2. So tan 30 will be sine by cos, that will be 1 by root 3. Sin 45, 1 by root 2, cos 45, 1 by root 2, tan 45, 1, sin 60, root 3 by 2, cos 60, it will be 1 by 2. So it will be tan 60, root 3. Okay, sin 90 1, cos 90 0, it will be undefined. So this is the particular table which we had already learned in our basic section, that is in our basic classes, and we will be taking the help of this particular table in order to calculate the particular value. So tan 30 it is 1 by root 3, as the minus sign is already lying before the tan 30, so we will be substituting back that minus sign. So the final value of tan 330 is minus 1 by root 3. So this is the particular example, minus 1 by root 3. We can solve this particular you can say 330 with the help of other you can say concept also, but it will be a longer concept, it will be a lengthier concept, it will take much time, it will consume more time. In order to curtail the time, we will be taking the concept, we will be checking the particular angle whether it is near to 180 degree or 360 degree or 270 degree. Based on that, we will be framing a strategy. So which particular angle we will have to take the help. Either we have to take the help of 180 degree or 360 degree or 90 degree or 270 degree, and we will have to post that we have to apply the basic rules and regulations. So we had already calculated tan 330 degree. Now we will be checking, and we will be checking this cos 150 degree. Now we will be taking the next example, that is cos 150 degree. Cos 150 degree. We will be entitling one numerical figure here 3, that is cos 150 degree. Whenever we are taking cos 150 degree, so cos 150 degree, first rule, we will check that particular angle 150 degree, it is nearer to 180 degree or 270 degree or 360 degree. Based on that, we will be framing a strategy. So cos 150 degree, it is nearer to 180 degree. So we will be writing cos 180 degree minus 30 degree. We will be writing this particular angle with the help of 180 degree. So cos 180 degree minus 30 degree. Now, see, we have taken the help of 180 degree now. Based on 180 degree rule, that particular trigonometric ratio will not change, but sign will depend on the that quadrant. So cos will remain cos as it is. Understood? Cos 30 degree. Now we have to check what particular sign will you can say we will apply here, which particular sign. So cos 150 degree, up to this first quadrant is up to 90, second quadrant is up to 180 degree. So that 150 degree, so 150 degree it will be lying in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant sine and cosec is positive, and here it is cos, so it will be negative. So minus cos 30, minus cos 30, we had already seen minus cos 30 will be minus root 3 by 2. So this is the particular solution of a table. So it is a cos 150 degree. Understood? We will be checking one next example, cosec 420 degree. Now, whenever any angle, we will be saying cosec 420 degree. Cosec 420 degree. Understood? Cosec 420 degree. In this case, we can solve this particular numerical by two methods. The first method, which we had already seen, the earlier method which will be applying here, we will be writing here it is nearer to 360 degree. So in that case, we will be writing here, we will write here cosec 360 degree plus 60 degree. In that case, we will check with the other example. And the second example, we will be writing like this. I will show you. First and foremost, it will be cosec 360 degree, because 420 degree it is nearer to 360 degree in that case. Understood? So it is cosec 360 degree plus 60 degree, that is cosec 420 degree, because and we had taken the help of 360 degree. Now in that case, there will be no change in the trigonometric ratio, but the sign will change. So in that case, cosec 360 degree, it will remain cosec only. Understood? And now we have to check the cosec 420 degree up to 360 degree is up to a fourth quadrant. It is covered. It is covering up to 360 degree. Whenever it crosses 360 degree, it will be coming in the first quadrant. Understood? And in the first quadrant, all the trigonometric ratios are positive. So it will be plus cosec 60 degree. Now cosec, it is the reciprocal of sine 60 degree. Cosec, it is the reciprocal of sine 60 degree. Sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So reciprocal of this, it will be 2 by root 3. So cosec 420 degree, we have the value 2 by root 3. In this method, we had taken the help of our, you can say, 360 degree rule. And according to the 360 degree rule, there will be no change in the trigonometric ratio, but we have to check in which particular quadrant that particular angle will lie. Based on that, we will be taking a stand, we will be framing a strategy, and we will be deploying a particular sign based on accordingly. So we had got the value 2 by root 3 in that case. So this is this. Now we will be coming some more example like sine 2550. We will be checking that also. Sine 2550. We will be dividing this. So we had used the concept here, that is 416, 450 and all those concept we had seen here. Understood? So we had taken the help of this up to 420 degree. Up to 420 degree we had seen, that is beyond 360 degree plus 60 degree. We had checked also, and we had got the value of cosec 420 degree. So this is the particular rules and regulation which we had seen also, and this particular topic, it is finding applicability in all the, you can say, sections of trigonometric ratios. Whenever we want to find the angle values, we are using this concept only, so as to get the values of the corresponding equations. We will be seeing some more examples here, which will which we will be learning in the different sections of our classes. The first and foremost, we will see this particular angle. Suppose we had already seen how to calculate the sine. The sine angle, it is already, we know that sine is the ratio of perpendicular to the hypotenuse in a particular right angle triangle. In a particular right angle triangle, suppose this is a right angle triangle is there. Understood? So it is a right angle triangle, it is a 90 degree, A, B, C. That is the angle, it is the perpendicular, the angle, the side opposite to the angle, it is perpendicular. One side is hypotenuse and one side is base. So whenever we want to calculate the sine angle, sine theta, the sine theta, it is the ratio of perpendicular to the hypotenuse, P by H. The sine theta, it is equal to P by H. Cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse, and tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. As we have already studied in our lower classes, that tan theta, it is the ratio of sine theta with respect to the cos theta. This tan theta is equal to sine theta by cos theta. So we had got that value, tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. So that is the particular thing which we had already learnt here. And it is an important concept which we will be discussing in the earlier concepts also. So we have seen the various concepts here, the tan angle, the sine angle, cos and the tan. We had seen the sine is the ratio of the perpendicular to the hypotenuse, cos is the ratio of base to the hypotenuse, and tan is the ratio of sine by cos. That is perpendicular to the base. Now we will be saying the other example. Whenever we are getting some of the angles which are greater than the 360 degree. So in that case, how to proceed further for calculating the respective values of the particular trigonometric angles. So in that case, see, first and foremost, the first rule is that we have to divide that particular angle with the 360 degree. As we had already studied, the sum of the total angles around a particular point is 360 degree. So if we are getting any angle larger than, you can say, 500 or it is 600 or greater than 1000, in that case we have to first and foremost divide that particular angle with 360 degree, and we have to check the remainder. Whatever the remainder we are getting, thereafter we have to frame a strategy, we have to take a stand what we can do next in that case. So we will be taking one example, that is cos 2940 degree. That is cos 2940 degree. It is very large angle, it is greater than 2000 also. In that case, we will be dividing this particular angle with the 360 degree. So 360 degree, 2940. So in that case, we will be seeing degree into 8. 0, 6 8 are 48, 8 8 24 for 28. So we are getting here 8, 28, 80. So the remainder is 60. We have taken this example cos 2940. As I had already told you, whenever any angle is there, it is greater than 2000. In that case, we have to divide that particular angle with 360. That we had divided this particular angle with 360 degree and we had got the remainder 60 degree. Now this particular angle, it can be written as cos 2940. It can be written as cos 60 degree. Understood? It can be written as cos 60 degree. Now easily, with the help of trigonometric value, we will check that what is the value of cos 60 degree. In that case, we will be seeing here the value of the cos 60 degree. It is the value of the cos 60 degree. It is 1 by 2. So we have got in a easier manner. Cos 2940, it is having the value of half, because I had already told you the protocol, how to apply that protocol. Whenever any angle is there, it is having larger magnitude, that is greater than 2000 or something is given there, then in that case we will be dividing that particular angle with 360 degree and we will be checking the remainder. We will have to focus on the remainder. Whatever the remainder is there, we have to frame a strategy concurrent to that. So in that case, the remainder is 60 degree. So we will be writing here cos 2940 is equal to cos 60 degree, and easier we can check in the table what is the value of cos 60, that is half. That is the easier method. So this is the particular rule, that is the fourth rule. We will be saying some more example here, that is cos 2550 degree. Suppose it is here cos 25, it is here this one. Sin 2550, we will be dividing 360 2550. 8, 7, 25, 20. We had got the remainder 30. So sine 2550, we can write sine 30 degree. And in an easier manner, we can write sine 30 is half. See, this particular angle 2550, it is having larger magnitude, that is greater than 2000. We had divided that 2550 with 360 degree and we had focused on the remainder, that is 30. So we can write sine 2550 as sine 30, and with the help of a particular this table, sine 30 is half. So we have written half here. Understood? Now we will be seeing the negative values. Before that, I will show you some of the basic concepts of the trigonometry which will render some of the transparency on this particular negative type sign. Whenever any negative questions come, whenever we have to find a particular angle which is bearing some negative values, in that case we will be writing here sine minus theta. It is equal to minus sine theta. Cos minus theta is equal to, you can say sine minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. Cos minus theta is equal to cos theta, and tan minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. Okay, so this is the particular value. Suppose we have to calculate sine minus 1230 degree, sine 1230 degree. In that case, we will be checking what can be done in that case. So first and foremost, we will be writing this particular value sine minus theta. It can be written as minus sine theta. Okay, so in that case, we will be writing this particular angle as sine minus theta is equal to minus sine 1230 degree. And we will be using the same basic rule. So we will be dividing this particular angle as it is greater than 1000. So in that case, we will be writing here 360 degree into 3. It will be so we had divided here. We had used the concept sine minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. So sine minus theta is equal to minus of sine 1230. Now this particular angle, it is greater than 1000. In that case, we will be dividing that particular angle with 360 degree. Whenever we had divided this particular angle by 360 degree, we have to focus on the remainder, and we had got the remainder 250 degree. In that case, we will be writing here minus sine. It will be, suppose this 250 degree it is given here. It is nearer to which angle? We have to check whether it is nearer to 180 degree or it is nearer to you can say 360 degree. Okay, so we have to check like this. So in this case 250 it is there. So minus sine 2. First of all we will write here minus sine 250. Again we will check this particular angle it is nearer to 360 degree or 180 degree. This is nearer to 360 degree. In that case, we will just break that angle into two parts. Okay, so it will be 360 degree minus 90 degree, I think. Wait a minute. It will be oh, 181. So it will be minus sine 180 degree plus suppose we are taking the help of 180 degree plus 70 degree. Okay, so it will be minus of sine 180 degree plus 70 degree. So in that case we will be checking on which particular angle it is lying here. Suppose it is this particular angle, it is not having so much of larger value. So in that case we will check whether we will be dividing it by 4 or 360 degree. Suppose we had divided it by 4. Remainder is 30 degree. So in the second rule is there, if the value of angle, if the angle is having not so much of magnitude, in that case we have to divide that particular angle with the help of 4. So minus sine of, you can say 1230 degree. I had already told you, whenever the angle crosses the magnitude of 2000, in that case we will be dividing that particular angle with 360 degree. and whenever the value of angle is less than, you can say 2000, or you can say less than 1000, or up to it is 1000, in that case we will be dividing that particular angle with the help of 4. So minus sine of 1230 degree. So when we will be dividing this 1230 degree with the 4. So 4th is a 12. Now it is 30. Okay. So we had got the remainder as 30. So we will be writing this particular equation minus of sine 30 degree. And minus of sine 30 degree, it is minus of half. So we had seen that minus of sine 1230, this particular angle, it is less than 2000. In that case, we will be dividing that particular angle with the help of 4. We have to focus on the remainder. Post focusing on the remainder, we will be framing the strategy, what stand we have to take. So the remainder is 30 degree, 30 it is here. We have written here 30 minus of sine 30, it is minus of half, that we have got the answer. So this is the particular rule. Now we will be moving to the next section. Understood? We will be going to the next section of ours. So in that case, we will be using some different concept also, which will be helpful for us also. Suppose it is 4 of 1125. So we will be checking. We will be saying what can be done in this case. Suppose 325 degree is there. Okay, so 325, if we are adding you here 45 degree, in that case it will be becoming 370 degree. So in this case, we had seen here various concepts, okay, and which are helpful for us so as to get the respective values. It will be 12. So we had got this values here also. So we had seen some of the cases which is beyond 360 degree, or which is bearing some larger angle, and we had deduced some of the rules and regulation in order to find the respective values of the trigonometric identities. And this is a very important concept, and it is having the application in the vivid you can say branches of mathematics, physics and chemistry. Whenever trigonometry it is there, we are taking the help of this particular concept in order to calculate the various values which are greater than 90 degree. And this particular concept, it is entitled as sine rule. So for today we had discussed about these various type of sections, and I request each and every viewer, so please go and observe this particular video. If any problem you are having, please do comment in the comment box, and I will be checking those queries. I will be checking those numerical problems if you are having, and I will try my best so as to resolve those queries within the stipulated time, so that it will be beneficial for you in the next class also. So this is complete. You can say this we have completed. This topic we had completed for today, and we will be covering different topics in our next class, basically related to the equation of the circle, and we will try to finish that particular section in an accelerated manner, so that we can move over to the equation of the parabola, and we will be covering some of the important topics of the physics also, so that it will be easier for you to get the concept and absorb the concept easily. As we had already studied, mathematics is the language of physics. So we will be applying the rules and regulations of mathematics in order to solve the tedious or numerical, or you can say complex problem in the physics also. So this is you can say all for today, and have a nice day. Good night.